say that and just cancel in March.
Unless she would do it today.
Right.
I think she'd be able to do it. We're done. Okay. Yeah. Okay, no decisions were made.
I would like to request to run an ad to hire a part-time person in the appraiser's office.
I'll make a motion. Well, first off, don't we have to come back into session?
Didn't he just come back?
No
Yeah.
decisions were made.
Okay.
Yeah, he already done that.
No decisions were made. I'll make a motion that we advertise for a part-time position for the appraiser's office.
I'll say.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Is there any chance of getting that invitation today?
Right now, what you want to say, and I'll get you something in there.
Okay. Can I get the box?
Awesome.
You want to stop it when you're done, and I'll
Okay.
get it to you, or you want me to email it?
Fine. You can email it if you want to. You know my email address?
Yep.
All right, I'll just email it.
Okay, very
We
good.
need to say something for the record that you're going to accept the IT hours.
I don't think anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Lynn.
Yep.
Cody, you're up.
Okay. You hear it?
I've got, what's that?
Okay. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First of all, we can do it in whatever order you want to. We either start with our software contracts that I want to talk to you guys about, an open meeting, and do the executive session later, or we can start with the executive session and then move into the open meeting stuff later. It's your guys' choice.
Let's do software first,
Okay.
because she may need to go because it's Tuesday, and Dave Fleming after the executive session, you
He's not
know,
going to have much.
I don't know that, but
How much?
First, we'll start with the software program. As you guys know, we went live with Next Generation 911, and so far it's been working great. We do have 2 pieces of equipment now that are the county's responsibility. The rest of it is AT&T's in the state, which is a dramatic reduction of what we had before. But the 2 things that are still our responsibility is our computer-aided dispatch software, our CAD software, and the recorder that records the 911 line and the radio traffic and things like that. We'll start with Global. Global has been less than helpful during this process. We found out we were way up to date with the product. We had a real old version. We bought this in October 2007. Part of the contract is that they were supposed to offer to us updates. It says if we didn't fail to implement them, it's our fault. But we had no record where they had ever offered to update our stuff. Number 2 is technical support. They supply us through our agreement to provide maintenance with respect to software for outages for 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including holidays, 365 days a year. Sometimes it takes us over a week to get a call back from their technical support. They still haven't done the patch to move it over to talk to the state's new equipment. It's just been a process. I did some research and talked to some other sheriffs. Global used to be the primary supplier in the state of Kansas for computer-aided dispatch. Everybody's moving away from them because their customer service is going way down. At that same time, I got the invoice for this year's contract renewal with them, which comes to $5,903. That's how much we pay them a year for their service agreement, which I don't feel that we're getting any of that out of, no.
What's that number again, sorry?
$5,903.
Okay.
And if you notice, I did not submit this. It says in here that we have to have a 30-day notice. 30-day notice required via email to, there's an email address for changes or cancellation. And the payment is due by 4/5/2016 to avoid the lapse in coverage. I will probably be talking to Nicole about getting out of this contract, because the only thing, there is no date in here in this contract except for the date that it was signed, which was 12/17/07. So I don't know, I'm trying to find out when our renewal date is, because they signed it on 12/20/07. The payment's due on 4/5. I don't know which date we're going by for the 30 days for the cancellation. I was trying to do a little research before I just called them. Call them because it's a week for them to get back to you anyway. So,
Do you have the renewal contract from last year?
This is the only thing that I have. As I have the letter with the invoice for this year, and I have this. That's the only thing that I have. There was no contract attached to this to sign or anything. It's just an invoice with a letter saying, hey, thanks, and here's what the service provides you, and your maintenance agreement includes the following regular software updates. It happened. 24/7, 365 access to remote technical support, not happening. Ability to request enhancements on the products, which is what we're doing for the next gen project, not happening. Ability to view the status of your product enhancement requests online. Nobody's ever given us a place to go or log in to go look at that. Access to online documentation and downloads, which is just the operator manuals and stuff like that. So we can't do that. So in my opinion, of the 5 bullet points they put into this letter, because it's just a letter, there's nothing to sign on, they failed on 4 of those 5.
You're breaching contract, correct?
I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, basically where you're at is you're not wanting to renew this contract and you're wanting to do it in a way to limit any liability and make sure you're doing it correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'd like to start looking at some other companies that provide a similar product and see what we can do.
Would we have to have any software changes? I mean,
Absolutely.
not software, but computer changes?
No, I don't think so.
Not software, yes, I'm sorry.
Software, and we just bought a new computer just to run this stuff on because the other computer crashed. So there's actually 2 pieces of equipment. There's a server and a computer. I don't want to say definitely we wouldn't have to buy anything, but my assumption is with that new computer, it would just be a matter of removing their software off of it and installing the software of the new company.
Is that a law enforcement software or 911?
It's 911. What the computer-aided dispatch does is it's multiple things. It's got the log, the documentation of what happens, which is very important. It helps them with addresses. Like if you enter into your software, let's just say, let's use CPS south of Bird City, for example. You could probably even add in their paperwork that they have to ship to the fire departments and emergency management every year, saying what products they have stored there, what kind of facility it is, things like that. You can put all kinds of stuff. So when you have an incident there, the dispatcher types in the address and they'll get an alert. There's hazardous materials there, and they can alert the firefighters. It has things that if a firefighter calls in and says, hey, I've got a placard on this vehicle, it's red, it says 1993, they could type it in and it'll tell them what it is. It's just what it's computer-aided dispatch is what it is. The biggest thing is it is our manual documenter of what happened. So when somebody says, well, which insurance companies and stuff like that do ask for quite a bit, I want the dispatch log over that. That's where it's generated at. The second piece of equipment that we're getting a little bit better luck with, but not much better, but the DSS, at least we can talk to those people. We're getting the DSS, which is the recorder that records the 911 line and the radio traffic. We've got to get it up and going. At least we can talk to those people. But we are getting at a frustrated level because it's still slow. This is stuff that we let them know about months ago that needed to be changed, and they want to charge us $1,500 to fly out here and fix our problem, which I think is...
Do we have a current contract with them?
I cannot find one that they say we do. I can't find one. So, so that's it. I'm gonna talk to AT&T and see if they have anything they recommend or anything that they service that they can put in there. Because again, the recorder is important. But like I said, they're easier to work with than Global has been. I haven't reached a point of extreme frustration with DDS. Their problem is, I think they're asking too much money to do something I think that they should just do for free. That's the argument I'm having with the recorder people. But at least, like I said, at least we're talking. You know, Global, I can't even chew their butts. I can't get them on the phone and chew their butts.
So on this company, the bottom line is notify them within the 30 days of our intent to cancel and seek
Yep.
either a new contract with them or with someone else.
Yep. And I think, you know, I'm just ready to walk away from, after I've heard from other sheriffs, they're having the same problems. It was actually owned by another company, and they sold to another company, and that's when the customer service problems kind of began. So I don't think there's any fixing it. I just think we need to find a legal way to bow out of our contract and go with another supplier if it's financially feasible. I don't know what it's going to cost. I have no idea. I haven't started the bidding process. But in my opinion, we're spending $5,900, $6,000 taxpayer money for a service agreement that's not worth the piece of paper it's printed on, if you ask me.
Well, it needs to be fixed.
It needs to be
That's all
fixed.
there's to it.
Yeah.
Cody, do you want to leave that with me, or do you just want to schedule a time by the end of the week for us to talk?
Either way, whichever works best for you. I can leave it with you, and
I'd prefer to just read it and then we can.
yeah, I'll leave it with you.
Okay.
Is there any way that the 911 fund could pay for that?
The recorder thing, I think it can. The CAD, I'm not for sure. I can get a hold of Scott or somebody at the 911 council and ask for sure to get their approval. But the recorder, I believe we can. But with the CAD, that's kind of one of those gray areas of answering the 911 call to see if it fits in there. But it never hurts to ask. I mean,
No, it does not. It does
It's
not.
better to ask than submit it, because
It
if you
still
submit
has
it,
to be fixed.
yeah.
That's the bottom line.
yeah, if you submit it and you're wrong,
Yeah.
you get in trouble with the state. If you ask before you submit it and they say no, you don't get in trouble. So it doesn't hurt to.
And you got a couple of weeks to get some calls through before
Yeah.
before your 90 or your 30 days.
In my opinion, if the bill's due on the 4/5,
Yeah, that's my guess, but,
Yeah.
and I mean, the other thing to keep in mind here is if they've breached a contract, we could always just, you know, say we're not gonna renew, and if they wanna fight about it, we can,
Yeah.
I mean, we can say, well, we believe we have a counterclaim for breach of contract. I mean, that's my gut reaction without actually reading it. I'd like to read the contract before I give
Yeah.
my final legal advice, but, I mean, I think even if we're outside the time period, we could go ahead and withdraw and just
yeah.
Right,
And see,
breach of
and
contract.
right here on the invoice, we're paying $544 of that is for the 911 interface, maintenance of the 911 interface, and that's what we're having trouble with, is the interface with the 911 system. And we're paying $600, you know, once you round up a year, just for them to maintain and service that, and we can't get them to. They've had 2 or 3 months, had noticed that this is happening, and we can't get. You know, their solution was buy a new computer. Well, guess what? We bought a new computer, still have a problem. You know, so that's kind of where we're at on that. To wrap up the rest of the stuff, security wall is up and complete. We got to do a little adjusting to the door. It's a little loose and everything. So if you guys want to look at that, that gets us in compliance with the 911 stuff, especially since we do have, you know, probably close to $300,000 worth of equipment, which belongs to the state, not us, but we still have to protect it. You know, so that wall's up. I'll be getting an invoice and getting that sent down to you, and I'm gonna divide that up through different fund stuff because it covers different things. So I'm gonna be splitting that up a little weird. So when I get the invoice, I will split it up and send something down with it. So that's a little bit put together there. The new vehicles are here. The only thing we're waiting for is the bull guards, because they didn't come with the push bumpers since we ordered them locally through the grant instead of buying them from the dealer. But they're here and set up. If you guys want to look at them. And that Ann graduates in about a month from the academy, so she'll be back. I think March 18th is her graduation. Yeah, March 18th is her graduation date. So we'll have her back on the 18th. So that's about all I have outside of some executive session stuff.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
It's personnel.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long?
So we can go for 10 and see
Okay.
what happens.
Move to executive session to discuss non-elected personnel.
Stand.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.